So guess what? Little sneaky things going on around here at Nitrous Outlet. I'm here to tell you about it. This is one of our product spotlight features we're doing for the week. So let me show you what we got. This is known as the Quick Fix Kit. What we have here is a kit in a bag. It comes in dry or wet, and it comes with your quick fire pistol grip button to activate your nitrous. It installs in about 45 minutes, and you can find this and other fine products at nitrousoutlet.com or call our sales department at 254-848-4300. Thank you.
This is why he doesn't do the tuning. He does the driving.
I got it.
There he is.
Holy cow, 450 miles. Jesus.
All right. Well, now we can get the show started, huh?
We're back.
We're back. Hey. All right. So, what episode is this?
21.
21. Okay. So you guys are episode 21 of WAZZUP.
It's almost like we didn't take it.
Let me hear it, David. There we go. So we got the Diehl brothers. Is that the right way to say it?
Yeah.
So you are a big deal this week. See that? That's one of those dad jokes.
I think we did there.
No, he didn't do that.
All right. So we got David and Nick Diehl for episode 21 of WAZZUP.
Yes, sir.
Now, you guys are drag and drive guys. And
Yes, sir.
you guys are actually the very first drag and drive guys we've had on our show.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. So that's
that kind of, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I don't. What's that say? How you feel about drag and drive?
No, you just
No, I mean,
we're kind of new to this whole podcast thing. You got a bunch of old guys trying to kick it off here, so
yeah.
We're kind of getting in the groove the more we go.
Some are older than others.
Yeah. So let's talk about this drag and drive. For our listeners here that are not familiar with what a drag and drive is, break that down for us.
Well, pretty much you're going to take your hot rod and you're going to drive it from track to track. It's got to be able to endure whatever the road's going to throw at it. You know, some guys change the fuel to drive, change the tires to drive, shocks. Some don't change anything. We don't let our rear shock stay on it because we pull a trailer, you know, about 500 or 600 pound trailer behind us. So we change our rear shocks. We don't ruin them. We change our tires. We don't have to. But there'd be nothing worse than getting a nail in your race tire and trying to, you know, plug it to go down the track or get a new set of tires. So we always drive on the street on a different tire. We throw an air filter on it. We use one fuel system. So we have a 32 gallon per minute cable driven pump. We run pump gas or E85 for the street, depending on the area that we're in. We run alcohol at the track. We have a routine in the morning where we'll drain whatever fuel's left out of it. Throw a gallon of alcohol, cycle it through, flush the tank out, and then fill our alcohol back up. And at the end of the day, kind of pull out whatever we have. But there's a lot of drives that we do like a street race where they make you do a 50-mile cruise. We just fill our car up with alcohol and drive it on alcohol. We get about 10 miles a gallon. It does a lot better than what everybody would think, but we tuned it to do that. Like a lot of guys, as you probably know, in alcohol, man, they're dumping a bunch of it into their oil because they got it running so rich.
Yep.
They don't have a cooling system. We have a cooling system, so we run it super lean, driving around, and it works.
So the drag and drive deal, you guys have to deal with weather, whatever happens to be coming, whether it's a hurricane or a tornado or whatever, or a combination of all of them together. Do you guys have wipers on your car? I noticed that some of the guys were struggling because they didn't have wipers. And
we got
pretty good rainstorm.
Yeah.
Is the Rain-X trick, huh?
Rain-X and Rain-X anti-fog.
Yeah, that's important stuff.
So what all dragon drives have y'all done, and what's your favorite?
Dave.
What? I didn't hear.
What all dragon drives have y'all participated in, and what's your favorite one?
So we typically every year we start off our year typically somewhere around beginning of February. We go to Sick Week down in Florida. After Sick Week, we typically will do Sick Summer, June-ish, and then we usually do the Drag Week somewhere in September. Them are typically our three big ones we do a year. This year we participated in Drop the Hammer. Carl Stansel here, and them put on a good little dragon drive here in the state of Michigan. So we jumped in that one this year, ran the 28 class. Little local deal. It was only like 500-mile drive total. So, cool little 3-day deal. The other ones, typically Drag Week, Sick Summer, stuff like that. You got days, where you've got 7, 8, 9-hour drives. You're driving 300-400 miles in your race car on a trip. So it gets pretty extensive, like Sick Summer, man, some of the heat, deal with 90+ degree days. Driving 250 miles on Sick Summer, one of our drives, it's enduring on a car, on a race car to keep everything's happy. The one day we got rained out, we were driving in a tsunami the one day. Pretty much rain pouring down everywhere. A lot of people struggled with it, but it's part of the drag and drive stuff. We don't enjoy driving in the rain. Kind of got to keep your windows down, cracked a little bit, keep air flowing through the car, at least so you don't die in there.
Yeah.
But that's pretty much the ones that we do.
Do y'all ever do Rocky Mountain Race Week?
What's that?
Do y'all ever do Rocky Mountain Race Week?
We've been wanting to do Rocky Mountain Race Week. It is on our list of to-dos. It's just really hard to get in.
Yeah.
So we've actually considered jumping in and actually being a sponsor of it to kind of lock in a position to go do it, because I'd really love to go do it and be kind of challenged with them higher altitudes and stuff like that everybody struggles with, and see what we're capable of doing in dealing with them and having to deal with that.
Wasn't this year down in Oklahoma and all that?
They had a Texas one, but
this year was a little different.
I like
sure. I think it was Oklahoma and Texas and stuff like that this year, wasn't it?
Yeah. I did the Rocky Mountain Race Week where I think it started in Kansas, and I know we went to Colorado, and then we went to Bandimere, and then we went to the Nebraska.
That would be the one I would want to do, something like that. Yeah. I don't want to go do the one over in the plains over in no offense, Oklahoma and Texas at this time of year. I don't want nothing to do with you guys.
Man, I loved the whole mountain scenery, and I mean, we had a blast. It was a lot of work, and it was hot as shit because it was like record.
Bandimere was a lot of fun. I didn't particularly care for Pueblo whenever I was living up there, but now that Bandimere doesn't exist and they're building a new track out in
I think I'd agree with you. My favorite dragon drive we done was, Nick, was it 2023? Yeah, Drag Week 2023.
Oh, maybe 2022, I think. It was 2 years ago. So it'd be this year we're doing 2024. No, 23. You're right.
Yeah, 2023 would have been the one we were down in the Carolinas and all that kind of stuff, man. That was beautiful scenery. We got some cool shots of the car up in the mountains. Man, that was just an awesome drive. It was crazy to watch a lot of the cars, man. We went up some of these mountain hills and stuff, man, and just car scattered up the side of this mountain, man, because they were overheating, couldn't get up the hills. Crazy what it'd do, transmissions overheating, stuff like that. It's grueling.
What do they do to you guys on those? I think I saw where one guy had some issues and they got him trailered over back to a track or something like that, and he had to go ahead and withdraw because he went farther than a safe spot to repair the car.
That was Doug.
Is that something that happens on a regular basis if you have an issue where you can't get towed back to a track or something like that, and if you go too far, then they're like, yep, sorry.
Safe spot is the first parking lot off whatever road you're on.
Is it?
So you have to fix it at that point. You can have somebody help bring you parts. You can go get parts, like get a cab, whatever. They don't want people, and I get it. And this is what makes Drag and Drive tough, is that we've ripped heads off in the parking lot of a hotel. We finished 623. We did the whole trip. Well, 3 of the tracks we ran on 7 cylinders and still ran 7-second passes every day. We had a Vel seat drop, and we had no choice. Either we had to get the car trailered all the way back to the original track or make it work the way it was. So we unhooked the coil and injector and ran the car the rest of the week. And then we were just going to break the beam so we didn't get a DNF.
Yeah.
And me and Dave said, the motor's already hurt. Let's see if we can get it to spool. I'd be damned if it didn't. You couldn't tell it was on 7. It still ran 780s and 790s on 7 cylinders. So we actually had T-shirts we were going to get made, but we got screwed out of that. That were 777, like a slot machine.
Yeah.
It was our 7th Dragon Drive. We ran a 7 cylinders, ran 7 seconds every pass.
That's pretty cool.
That's pretty neat. And it's pretty cool though how tough they make it on you to really go through this whole deal.
Yeah, you got to be able to see. That's where Dave talks about it all the time. Our advantage is that we build our chassis, we build our engines, we build everything. We literally do from front to back. The only thing that I will say that we don't do or haven't did, and we can do it to a certain extent, is our transmissions. Don Capizzi builds our transmissions. He's right here next to us. We're blessed to have one of the best builders in the country right here. But Dave does do transmissions, so Dave can break it apart, and John can tell him what to do if we had to do something. But the truth is, 8 years of running his trans, we've had one problem ever.
That's pretty good.
And I don't know.
Yeah, we broke a sprag.
Sounds like you got a good one.
Yeah, for sure.
Now,
John is the GOAT, dude.
The cool part is what we do typically, and we'll just call it precaution. So we have our trans built by John. We have spare stacks already stacked, ready to go. So if we tear up clutches, I can rip the trans down somewhere real quick, stack new drums and steels, stack everything back in, put it back together. As long as a severe hard part ain't damaged, like the sprag or the center support or something like that, we can get back on the road.
Yeah.
So how much spare parts do y'all carry?
Not as much as we used to. Do we literally have a starter, a alternator, a couple belts, couple rockers, yep.
Really, we don't carry much sensors. We carry a spare crank sensor, spare cam sensor, carry a spare set of injectors just in case. But really, we don't bring a ton. We used to carry a spare battery with us just in case because we had a battery get us once.
Yeah, imagine.
But
y'all have y'all done enough of it that y'all have it ripped down to kind of the bare necessities of what you need to carry.
Oh, damn it. Darn it. I'll be right back.
Yeah. So, we when we started this off, we used to carry a bunch with us, and we've slowly learned what we needed over the last few years of Dragon Drives, like the do's and don'ts, the needs and not needs. Carry a crank sensor or cam sensor doesn't take much room up. Carry a spare starter doesn't take much room. But it's those little things. Yes, everything on our car we can essentially buy at a parts store. It's a factory LS starter. We can put a factory 12 volt LS alternator on it. We do carry a spare, so we don't have to try to find one, but we can go grab one from a parts store and throw it on there. It's just a 12 volt system. We're not running a 16 volt system. Valve train components, stuff like that. We're running factory LS7 rockers with trunnions, so I can go to a parts store and get a rocker if I need. I carry a couple with me, but lifters, Johnson 2126 is nothing crazy. Almost everybody out there in the LS world has one if I need one. We usually carry a couple with us though. This actual last race, we didn't bring some, and I thought we were going to need one for the first time ever. But luckily, it came back to life.
Now, run us through the build of your car. What is it?
It's a 2001 Mustang. It's a 25.2 chassis from Moore Race Chassis. We did all the cage work and stuff here. It's a close ratio 400 built by Capizzi. The engine is a Dart LS Next. It's running a 375 stroke. Well, it's a 4135 bore now. Set of CID heads on it. They're like LS7 hybrid heads from Hooper Heads on that. Steve Moore's done the machine work. It's an aluminum rod motor. It's really nothing super crazy. It is a Cleveland main engine, so we do got the bigger mains, a little more strength down there. Last year we opted to dry deck the engine mainly for safety purposes. If we are kind of leaning on it pretty hard, we've been 2,400-ish horse on that engine so far. This last week we were running at, you look the weight, 3,100 pounds, running 205 to 207 mile an hour every day. 2,100-ish, 2,200-ish horse in that area. So we're leaning on it, but we ain't leaning on it super hard. Honestly, we ran 33-ish pounds of boost all week long to make them numbers, so we're not after it really hard. But when I say this prospectively, it's a Bullseye 110 NLX, so, not all boost is the same boost.
Right.
30.
What turbo are y'all running?
It's 110 millimeter bullseye NLX.
Okay.
Billet center. Yeah, billet center.
Yeah, it's all billet center, billet everything.
Right. And of course, we
might be jumping
on.
on he has a 118 already sitting on the shelf for us if we happen to run out of this one.
Yeah.
And we fully intend to try. We want to be the second hydraulic roller car to ever go threes.
And what y'all's fastest pass so far?
433.
We've been a 433 and we've been 173 in the 8 so far.
Okay.
433 ish.
Ish.
Ish is the new word for the year. Ish. Everything is ish.
Well, we did that at the end of last year on a hurt motor,
Yes.
a hurt engine. It was 40 degrees out, so the track wasn't taking. I think our 60 foot was like only a 109 at that point. We've been 107 that day.
433.
Yep, and
on a 40-degree track.
40 degrees.
Jesus Christ!
It was 40 degrees outside.
Oh yeah.
So the air was great, but the you can't make glue work at 40 degrees. So then you have to play the surface game.
Yep.
Yeah.
So let's talk about this last race you're at. The video that's floating around. I watched it the other day, and it talked about all the records you guys just broke. Let's touch base on that. What race was that?
Sixth summer, and it was in Illinois, Iowa area. Wisconsin. Yep. It was average of 92-ish degrees every day.
Yeah.
There's that word.
There's the ish.
Well, the ish is there because there was days it was 80 something, high 80s, but there's also days that it was 95, and then air. The crazy part is I got data on the car. We got a lot of data on the car. That same tune-up we were doing, running 690s in is a 685 in better air any other time we've ever ran it. Actually, we ran 685, David letting out 1,000 foot. So
we were about 800 DA that day versus the 3,500 we were just playing with.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So it's crazy how we're seeing the DA play such a big role because they never really messed with us before, but now we're at a different level. I think where we're seeing that it matters. And it might be because we were running ice and air to water before. Now we're not. Maybe that's playing a bigger role. I'm not sure, but definitely harder to go faster when the DA is not with you.
Was the 3,500 the highest DA you guys dealt with that week, or did it get up around 5,000?
Oh, there was 2 days that were just under 5,000.
Yeah.
And that's when you beat your head on the wall too. Like the last day we were at right around 5, or just under, it was 4,200 or something.
That's whenever that nitrous would really shine.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and it'll fit there on your little tube that goes up to your intake.
Oh, I bet it will. Hey, and we might have to do that at some point for some of these races allowing it.
I know a guy.
Yeah, we know a great guy.
Now, you guys have done a lot of testing with our meth heads setups, from discharge placement to how much we're putting in it. And I love it. Love it. There it is. So the Mustang used to have a cool little sticker on the front bumper. I saved it.
Got painted. We took all the stickers. They all went on the back window.
Yeah. So I'm sure it's hard to keep all the people that you work with on the car. Otherwise it looks like a rolling billboard. Yeah. So, but through some of the discussion, I try to be careful what I say because I don't know what's secret and what's not. But obviously, playing with meth discharge and how much has played a big role in just trying to get the motor happy, huh?
Yeah, it's a game changer. The tuning window is so much wider if you can knock some air temp out of it. It allows you to deal with the DAs like we just dealt with a little more. A little less caution, I'll say. Right. And we're still refining it, like having the misting jet down low and then having the spray jet up high. I took too much of the spray jet out. We usually knock 100 to 125 degrees of air temp out of it. But like I said, because I was reading the plugs wrong based off the 2-step, 3-step, yada, yada, I had it over rich. Now we can start creeping back on that and try to get us back into that one. To be honest, we had it where we PWM the solenoid on based off air temp with the fuel tech. And say I decided I wanted us to be at 180 degrees.
Yep.
I could literally PWM it at whatever percentage it took to get there, and it would hold whatever temperature I want the intake air temp to be. And it worked great. Like I said, I started, we had a breakup problem down track. And the first thing we're doing is we're imagining that it's a fuel problem. So the first thing you do is eliminate the extra fueling that you have so you can narrow it down. And that's what we did. And then we find out it had nothing to do with it. So I'm going to bring that back down. This whole week we ran it with a really small jet, and we kept it locked at between 280 and 300 degrees. Usually we've literally at 33 pounds, we usually can lock it in at between 150 and 180. And that's, I'd rather be there. I don't want to overfuel it with it. I don't want it to be droplets. We want it to be a vapor by the time it makes it to the intake. And that's what we were doing. But that's a big part with you, Dave, taking the time, and me and you probably got a book worth of messages back and forth, finding different things and using, do ways to do it and try it and experimenting with it to get us to this point. And we were blessed to have guys like you that'll take the time to do that with it. Not everybody's got time to message back and forth, especially an owner. And I know how busy you are because I'm an owner, and we're running businesses too, and it's hard to talk to everybody. So we do appreciate that.
That's the part that I love. Like, out of everything we do, and I've been doing this for a long time, and I still have the love for. I mean, you know me. You can message me at 9:30, 10 o'clock. If I'm up, I'm responding. People are always like, "Man, you didn't have to respond right now."
Yeah.
But that's the challenge of helping you figure it out, trying things. It's all data building, even for me.
It's a give and take. I mean, them guys are running your product, so you need to kind of.
Oh, absolutely. You want to give them that support, but the data is intriguing. And this whole method venture that we've been doing the last couple of years, believe it or not, a lot of the knowledge that I'm dragging over from that is from nitrous, because atomization is like super important. And so the meth works very similar.
Yeah, I had an idea, and it's something we can talk about some other time. I've seen guys do like the weld-in aluminum, like where it's a spiral, like almost like what you guys do for the carburetor, where you have all the little teeny holes all the way around and it sprays in the middle. I would like to try something like along that lines, closer to the turbo, not real close, beyond the blow-off valve, but that pretty much when it turned on, it literally sprayed in a misting form all the way around the whole inside of the pipe.
Yep.
Almost like what you do. I know you probably have already done testing with that stuff before, but
we have. The setback for us is that a lot of the racers we work with are racing classes that have a very strict restriction that the discharge has to be behind the butterfly on the throttle body. And so the reason why they do that is so if that car coughs, it doesn't become a open blowtorch in the engine bay out the blow-off valve. So that's the catch-22 of putting a lot of mist down off in the pipe versus behind the throttle body blade. Now I do have people like yourself and gosh, my mind just went blank.
This is your story, sir.
Mike Snow. Snowden. Mike Snowden, that also have discharges down by the blower, and that's because they're not racing any classes that keep them from doing that.
Yeah, that misting jet seems to help, but I will say that the spray jet seemed to be before we had the misting jet, I want to say it was like what you said, like an 82 or 85 in there. And that's when it was knocking all the air temp out. But we did see as we turned the car up, we were getting droplets.
Right.
I was catching where I had to do cylinder more. As soon as we dropped the jet size back down from the big jet and added the misting jet, it cleared all that up. And I mean, we've never had a cough or backfire because of the meth spray. We have it at 90%. So that anything below 90%, Dave lets off the gas, it's turning off or slowing down, or the meth spray is stopping before Dave even is all the way off the pedal.
Yep.
So that the RPM has come down, and anything in that tube at that point is dissipated into a vapor. That shouldn't be as flammable at that point. You wouldn't think
it's gone.
And the engine's consuming so much air so fast. I see why they do it. And I've seen people have backfires like that. And maybe we're just lucky. Our backfire had zero relation to the meth spray. Matter of fact, I think I already told you when we were talking earlier, our backfire is because the ignition relay fell out and the end of the pass and turned everything off. And that's what caused ours. And it sucked, but it's a learning experience. And all our relays are anchored now that matter will come out, I promise you.
That was testing before sick week, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. And so I'm going to have my guys put up a little picture of your hood with the intake sticking through it, literally.
It's on the shelf at the office now.
The intake in the hood is a prop. And the reason I say that is the top of the intake was about 250 feet from where it blew off. Ooh. It went about as high as light poles and ended up out in the parking lot.
Wow.
Yeah, dude, it was the one video that I have, I always video the car leaving the line because I use it for data. And you hear me go, oh, that's not good. I know our car and I know the sounds. And right after you hear the boom, you can hear the tires squeal. Like Dave's trying to get on the brakes, and there was a fire under the hood.
Yeah.
Obviously, and he pulled the fire suppression, and it's a good and a bad thing. It didn't go off because it was like corroded because we never used it and we didn't have the Ellens loosen up or whatever.
Oh, no.
Glad it didn't, because it would have been a way bigger mess inside and outside of the car. It was a very small fire. They put it out with some water. It didn't hurt anything. Like I said, we had to fix a couple wires, a couple hoses. Dave had a new intake lid on it. I mean, I think we had the car running. It was just over 24 hours from when it happened.
So
I mean, it wasn't
hurt
easy.
The motor,
Don't get me wrong.
It didn't hurt the motor at all.
Not at all.
That's good.
Not at all.
All right. So then you guys went to sick week, and let's talk about this last race. Let's talk about these records you broke.
Well, first we actually didn't go to. We went down to Byron and jumped into a Extreme 28s class and a small tire. A small tire street race class Friday and Saturday down in Byron before sick week.
Okay.
So we ran against like Boost 12's girlfriend and a whole bunch of bigger name guys, actually really fast guys, in that Extreme 28s and in the other class. And we were just trying to get the car figured out. And we got lucky somehow and ended up winning the street car race pretty easy. We went a couple rounds in the other race. I feel like we had the car to win in that race too, and everybody else felt the same way. But the car made a move to the middle on a pass, and Dave had to get out of it. You know how that goes. The other guy had to. Yep. And so we won a race before sick week. So the night before, we made a couple $, won a race, felt confident. We went into Sixth Summer with a plan on day one or day zero, which is your test. Day zero is your tech day, and you get some testing. We said if we get through tech and we get a chance to test, we're going to run the car to 1,000 foot. Look at the data. You know, you're running quarter mile versus eighth mile. You guys all know if you race, a whole lot different. Dave don't even like doing quarter mile. He's probably over here shaking his head right now. He hates quarter mile as it is. He'd rather run eighth mile. So anyways, they go 1,000 foot. If the data showed what it needed to, we were going to pack up, go get us some dinner, which we did, and get some sleep and get ready for the week. First time ever, guys, I'll be honest with you. We do a lot of this drag and drive and we feel like we're prepared. This is the first time that all the plans were lining up and doing what it's supposed to. So this is the norm. I hope nobody believes, I want everybody to know it's not the norm because it usually doesn't go this easy, to be honest with you.
Right.
We had a plan and it worked. Holy crap. Now what do we do?
Yeah. Dave.
No, we had one little hiccup. Man, was it it was the day we were racing the street class stuff?
Day 3. Oh.
Where I got down to the end of the track, went to start the car up, man, it sounded like a rod knock or something.
Oh yeah, no, that was second round of the Extreme 28 class or whatever.
Yeah, so we made it end of the pass, come back around, go to start the car back up, and it just tack. I'm like, oh my God, here we go. The week hasn't even started yet. Here we are. We're going to be trying to put bearings in this thing or figure out what we got to do. And I don't know, we got a clear view on the car, so come down, shot air into the clear view. There was no bearing material or nothing, so I'm like, well, that's a good sign. So started the car up. Sure enough, it was tack. And then as it ran for a couple more seconds, it got a little quieter. I'm like, well, I'm just going to drive back to the pits. So I made it back to the pits. It wasn't making no noise. That's what I thought. We was going to have to put a lifter in it. But never made the noise again. Like everything was great from that point on. I think it just lost its prime somehow and had to reprime back up.
Huh. It was your car screwing with you.
So it's a hydraulic roller motor then, huh?
Yes, it is.
Hydraulic roller.
Okay. So maybe had a little piece of trash or something in the lifter.
Could be. I don't know. It cleared up though, thank God, and we continued on to have an amazing week.
All right. So what all classes did you run during? Is it sick week or sick summer? Sick summer.
Sick summer.
Sick summer. Yep.
All right. What all classes did you run in that?
We
only run one.
So we only run one class. The class that we run is called Super Street.
Okay.
You gotta be a minimum of 3,000 pounds. You gotta have all factory appearing interior, stuff like that. Factory floors, factory firewalls. Like it's the factory suspension front and rear. It is the epitome of like what a street car has to be, as far as I'm concerned, for street car rules. All factory suspension, all that stuff. So that's a really challenging class because you're limited to factory suspension. You're limited on your weight. You got to be 3,000 pounds. How many race cars are fast cars are 3,000 pounds. There's not many.
Right. Now, what all tracks? What was the route? What all tracks did you guys have to do?
We started at Byron. I like Byron. Byron's always been pretty good to us. From Byron, I believe Nick it was Great Lakes we went to next, right?
Great Lakes, man.
If you haven't raced Great Lakes, man, that track is crazy. Them guys up there love drag racing more than I think anybody in this country that I've seen yet so far.
They shut the town down. They literally shut the factories and the places down. It was Tuesday morning, and that track was almost at capacity, and it's big. I mean, there's literally
pictures.
Dude, they are the Midwest, and this is no knock on anywhere else in the country. We travel doing this stuff all over. The Midwest is just different when it comes to racing. I think it might be because we only get to do it a couple months a year.
That's exactly
what I was going to say. Or you go down south, they're racing year round.
You have a small window to get in with some decent weather. Other than that, it's snow.
Yeah, no, dude, they make us feel like rock stars, man. And like it's the one thing. Like the last couple of years, we noticed we'll have people come up and ask for autographs and video us in our pits and do all these things. We're like, man, they make you feel like you are special, and you're not, or we don't feel like we are. So we love racing over there. I hate racing in the heat. My brother will tell you the reason I don't drive the race car. We have 3 race cars, and the reason that I'll drive every now and then. We'll jump both 2 cars into a class or something, and now Dave won't let me do it no more, just because it takes our focus away from what we need to be doing. But I hate the heat, man. I can't stand being hot. I put a race last year. I think import versus domestics or something. Anyways, long story short, I jumped into one of our cars in like an 850 class. It pretty much, I was crying like a damn baby because I had pants and a damn one layer on. And here I got Dave getting into a car sixth summer, 94 degrees with a 20 layer. and he's okay with it. I mean, so that's when we realized I'm better. I'll punch the keys and stay in the shade and drink my martini and let him run down the track.
So
I really don't drink a martini.
With your car being a street car, the question I've got is it a Pioneer Super Tuner 3 or an Alpine stereo?
Bluetooth off your phone.
Oh God!
Dave's
gone again.
No, Dave's been hinting towards and I actually agreed finally. We are going to put a radio in it. Believe it or not, guys, this might blow your mind. Good food for thought. One of those things that you learn. We had dual exhaust coming out the back of the fenders for 7 years or 6 years, something like that. Looked cool, sounded cool. We liked it. We opted for a titanium 5-inch hood stack. Me and Dave both hate hood stacks. I can't stand them. But here's what'll blow your mind. The 5-inch hood stack is about 100 decibels quieter in the car than the dual 4-inch out the back of the fenders.
Really?
We can hold a conversation like we're holding with you guys right now, driving down the highway at 70 mile an hour, versus with the exhaust where it was. At the end of the week, my throat would hurt so bad from yelling back and forth to Dave that I couldn't talk for a week.
I usually actually put on Bluetooth headphones and to like cut down some of the decibels because my ears would start to hurt and I'd get a headache.
Racing radios.
Yeah. So, all right. So we're racing Super Street. We went to Bandamere, then Great Lakes. Where else did we go?
Didn't go to Bandamere. We went to Byron.
Byron, yes. I was close.
No, you was 2,000 miles away.
All right. Byron, and then Great Lakes, and then where?
Yep, Byron, Great Lakes. After Great Lakes, the track I was looking forward to the most, honestly, was Cordova. That was our next stop. Nick and I's first 7-second pass that we ever ran was at Cordova. We were there, and it was summer a few years ago, and we were hot lapping the car ridiculously. Like it was Nick stood at that starting line and said, "It's 7s or bust. We're going 7s." So literally, I was making a pass, coming straight back to the lanes, splashing fuel in, packing my chute. He was making adjustments to the tune, right back in the lanes, and make another pass. We went like 6 or 7 passes back to back to back, beating the crap out of that poor car, and clipped off our first 7-second pass.
Nice.
That's great.
So I was really looking forward to going there and going a 6-second pass there, and seeing if we couldn't go another personal best. We were going to try to turn it up a little bit, see if we couldn't set another personal best at that track.
And y'all did
unfortunately,
it, right?
Yeah, unfortunately, Mother Nature had different plans. You know, if it wasn't the plan, it wasn't the plan. We spent that day driving in the pouring rain. We got to hang out some really cool checkpoints, though. This huge place called Poopies. Man,
The biker bar.
if you're ever in that
Called
area,
what?
it's called Poopies. It's Poopies Biker Bar, man. You got to look it up, dude. That place is wild. They've got a tattoo shop in the back. They've got, they got live stages. They got bike shops, burnout pits. Like, dude, this place
Off-road trails for Jeeps.
I don't have to Google.
Yeah.
I'm going to be, hey, if I'm looking on my internet at work here after a while, don't
Yeah, that place is,
research.
man, that place is something else. I've never seen nothing like it.
Okay. Poopies.
So,
Poopies. Yeah.
Yep, Poopies. Poopies. Poopies Biker Bar.
That's cool. I like the name.
That's cool. Yeah. Yeah.
The name sells me.
Hey,
The seats at the bar are toilet seats.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
they're
no.
literally the backs of the toilet seat, or your back, and the base of the toilet seat that you normally sit on is your bottom. That's their whole
wild.
bar.
That's wild.
All right, road trip, guys. We're going to Poopies.
All right. So after Cordova, where'd y'all go?
We went to the track that we absolutely probably despise the most that we have raced at, Tri-State.
Tri-State.
That's in Earlville. Isn't it
That
Earlville?
track is,
It's
I'm
not.
not sure.
It's not Eddyville. I know that. I think it's Earlville that's Tri-State.
I know this. They do 2 races a year at that track. So it's never ran. It's a slick track. It's not a radial track. We have not made a good pass at that track in the 3 years that we've been there, or 2 years that we've been there prior. Even the big floppy tire guys, these big freaking monster 36-inch tire guys, we were the first 6. Matter of fact, we were the first 6-second pass of the day at that track. Long before Alex Taylor, Goldstone, Steve Morse, any of them. We were packing our crap up.
Yeah, they all swung and missed at that one, and then we missed our first pass. It honestly, it was kind of crazy. So the car rattled the tires real hard, and I kind of pedaled it and got back into it. It rattled the tires real hard again, and the car shut off. Crazy part about the car shutting off, when I got down to the end of the track to hit the return road, I didn't have no brakes.
Oh, no.
So I'll take that as a win that the car didn't make the pass. It actually vibrated. I got a Willwood dual master setup, and somehow the jam nut came loose, probably from all the street miles. He just tried to check that stuff a little more often. I'll blame that on, maintenance here at the track. We put it in, jam nutted it, and assume everything would be good, but I guess not. One of the jam nuts that came loose on the rods, and then the rod vibrated out and fell out. So I didn't have brakes. I mean, I had a little bit,
Yeah.
not enough to stop a car doing 200 some mile an hour.
That would have been scary.
No,
Yeah.
You guys got lucky on that one.
Yeah, so came back. They got some really cool photos of me upside down underneath the dash doing a contortionist move when I am probably not in the best of shape to do that. But, I'm a shape, but not in that kind of shape.
I know you're not in that shape,
Oh,
but you're not doing yoga.
All right. So after that track, is there another track? How many tracks did we go to?
Yep. So after that track, we actually finished day 5 at Byron.
Okay.
Back where we started.
Okay. And so,
obviously got good data there. Been down that track. Nick put the tune up in it. I thought it was a one and doneer. The car went a 7.0000.
Oh man.
That's where the duct, you were asking about the duct tape earlier.
Yeah.
And we had the same tune-up all week that was 97, 92, 90, it was right there.
95. Yeah, it was all in the 90s every day.
So that same tune-up, but we had a 25 mile an hour plus headwind, and the DA was 4,200. So that was a little depressing, because if that pass goes to 6, but now mind you, the 7 locked everything up as far as the wind, the placing, all that stuff. But what it didn't do is set the record for 6-second passes every day.
Yeah.
So had that pass locked up the 6 seconds passes for the whole day, the next pass would have been somewhere closer to 50 pounds of boost on it, which is about almost 20 pounds more than the head. And it would have been hitting over the head to see if we could have got down to the mid sixes, we'll call it 660, right. 670 area.
They'd done that and the wind would have quit. And then
But maybe it's a good thing it didn't, because our car went back onto the trailer driving, and it's ready for the next race. And it may not have been if we'd swung for the fence like that. So we truly believe, God has a bigger plan for us, and sometimes things don't work how you want it to, but still works how it's supposed to.
Sounds like he looked out for you guys a couple of times on this trip. The tsunami, the brake pedal, the wind.
So no, he was on our side for sure.
Yeah, the only thing you needed was some locusts.
So listening to the announcer, he said you guys broke 4 records in this race. Was it 4?
Yeah, we reset our own record for the fastest Super Street Pass average, which we already had it set for drag week at a 7:11. Previously, I think it was a 7:45 or something like that. So we dropped it to 7:11, which is a pretty big drop in average, as you probably know, over five tracks.
Yep.
So we reset that average from 7:11 to 6:96.
Okay.
Then we were the first Super Street car to go 6s, and we were the first Super Street car to go 6s every day. And then we were also the first small tire car to hang with the big lumpy cars that would be that we took 3rd overall in the Dragon Drive, which I said hasn't. It's hard, man. You're competing with guys with big blocks, double the cubic inches, double the turbos, and double the size tire. Probably bigger than double the tire. And we did our best to hang with those guys. And now it's time to see if we can't beat some of those guys with our little program. Brett Lasella's done it, so we're going to try.
There you go.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting, though. I mean, that whole little trip right there, everything that they went through, and finished 3rd against the big tire guys and all that. I'm a big tire guy myself, but I've never really gotten into the small tires. I've never used them.
See, and I'm opposite. Like, I relate to the small tire, and the big tire stuff is just, it's cool, it's fast, but I grew up with the small tire stuff, and that's where my interest is.
Yeah, I'm a fan of small tires. We technically ran and down where you guys are. I think it's still considered a small tire. I don't consider it a small tire. We actually ran a 29. We usually always run a 275 28.
Yeah.
But we're the pro bracket radio that they have available. That like Devin Vanderhoof and all the other guys running. They taught us into it. The Mickey guys gave us a ton of tires to try. And the truth is it helped with the RPM at the end of the track.
Yep.
Which we thought was going to be a problem. It ended up not. But we'll run the motor to 9,000. We were clipping it off at 8,200, so we had more room. The car is way faster on a 28 than it is on a 29. Like you're with a 350 gear in it with a 29.5, you're killing your starting ratio.
Yeah.
So our tune-ups should go 108, 109s. Now go 115 to 118. Like you're losing all that on the 60 foot. And you guys know you lose that much on the 60, you lose it at the 8th by multiplication. And then you lose what you lose at the 8th, even multiplied more at the quarter. So like here in the next couple of weeks, we got, streetcar takeovers coming to 131. I wish you were doing the Battle Titans there. That would have been the track to do it at. The fastest track in the country, the best surface in the country. I promise you. I'm not just saying it because it's close. I'm saying it because I've been all over.
If you haven't been to 131, make the trip.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got 2 or 3 different racing series that I play with and have friends that run them, and they love that track.
So we'll be doing SCT at 131 in a couple weeks. We got to put the car back in E85. We can't run alcohol in the street class. We want to go do the cruise. And I want to say we're going to, and I can't remember what that is. I think it's a 690 something is the fastest pass made in the street.
Yeah.
Street car pass they have. At 131, guys, we're going to shove that. We're going to shove that way down past there. I promise you that. But we also got to do some, I haven't had the car in the 85 and God, it's been a year or two now. We have water to air.
Summer last year.
I'm glad
we have water to air in an ice box, and it does mess with our front to rear split a little bit.
Yeah,
I don't think it's going to be a problem because we've had the car work that way before. But I would like to see a bottom 680 pass out of that. I mean, I want to win it first, but of course it'd be cool to reset that record.
Right. I'm glad you brought that up. I have a question because I'm currently battling it with tuning my own car. The difference in air intake temps of what's safe and what's not between alcohol and E85.
Well, I can tell you this. We had an intercooler pump fail on us at 6 summer last year.
Uh-huh.
And I didn't fail the whole pass. So here's the thing. We'd put a little bit of ice in it at the beginning of the pass before we went up. And the intake air temps would be about 140. We weren't trying to go down in the 80s, 97. We can. If you fill it up with ice, we can get it where the intake temps are 60 degrees going down track. So the intercooler pump went off about halfway down track, and the temperature made it to 170. Now, you would think 30 degrees intake air temp ain't crap, right?
Right.
Well, I'm going to tell you on E85, that'll put a good divot in your piston. And we have pretty much pro box pistons in our car, really thick deck, pin button, like a legit piston. And we had a 3/4 inch deep bowl in the piston from the temperature change, and it nipped the plug, which I'm not a fan of nipping plugs. I don't do a whole lot of that. I know the nitrous guys, they live by that, or not live by. They're okay. They pull a nip plug. I pull a nip plug out. I'm in tears, guys. Like, I am freaking the frick out. So we pull a plug out and we nipped it. We already finished the week because we made the pass, but that 30-degree difference had that much impact on the engine. Well, you guys all know Doug Cook.
Uh-huh.
Doug Cook at sick week had an intercooler problem on the 85 this last year, and he actually torched the whole head.
Oh,
his pump turned off or cavitated the water because he put a bigger pump on it, so it didn't cool the intake air temps. And it's funny because he would usually run around 100, and his made it to 170. And guess what, guys? That's where his on the 85 at 170 degrees. If you don't have a bunch of timing pulled out of it or added fuel to make up for the temperature, that's where we're seeing problems at. That is my new number. So at 160, I start pulling 2. At 170, I have 4 degrees out on the 85 now, which sounds like a lot, but I'd rather not have a piston turn into a bowl.
So let me tell you my problem.
On methanol.
Go ahead.
On methanol.
Go ahead. Tell them this. They're going to like it. It's not an ish either.
Because it literally touches base. At 170, we have a modifier to start pulling 2 degrees per, 25 degrees or something like that. So I'm at 170 coming through the shift, and at 212 I have 5 degrees pulled out of it. Plus I have the nitrous on. I have this car so pissed off that my plugs are very aggressive, so I'm afraid to put timing in it. This is new to me, and I'm trying to figure out the right move without burning it up. And of course, everybody on my Facebook page is running alcohol. And they're like, that air intake temp ain't nothing. We're 300, 400 degrees. And so Mike, which is my buddy, he does tuning, and he's like, Dave, this is not an alcohol car. That's the reason I asked you that question, because I'm trying to learn myself. And you're sitting here saying, no, actually 170 is a huge deal compared to what you're probably fixing to tell me the difference with alcohol.
Yeah, you can run 400 degrees on alcohol. You're fine. You can still get a plug pulled out at 300 degree air temps, 400 degree air temps. That looks like you haven't even made a pass if you're running on rich side of alcohol. On E85, you do that and you're putting the motor together because you ain't gonna have nothing left that's worth using. So what are you using for intercooler on your car?
Nitrous.
And
so in my little truck, that was perfect. But so we were battling some issues, right? And the first issue was that we forgot we had a modifier set up to start pulling timing through the shift. Well, it's lugging the motor down, and it's losing 10 pounds of boost, and it's losing like 1,300 RPMs. Well, we thought it was a stator, so we changed the stator to a looser stator, and Tom over at Pro Torque's like, man, something else is going on because you shouldn't need this stator. Well, it blew through the converter. We made one pass last week. Mike, it was Sunday, and we're both at the age now where the track's 2 hours away, and we're not worth a shit the next day if we're at the track all night.
Sun went down, and it was time to go to bed.
Mike wanted to make a full pass. We all know the top end of the track is where you hurt it. I didn't want to make a full pass, so I pulled an extra 2 degrees out of it, which was my happy medium, and it just pissed the car off more. It didn't hurt nothing, but whenever you pull the plugs out, they're very aggressive. Timing mark jumps out at you. It's got number 10 plugs in it. Being a nitrous guy, I would like to have number 11s, but all my buddies are like, you don't need that coat of a plug in here with this. The plugs are telling me, no, you cannot add timing, but I'm starting to think it's because I'm being so conservative, it's putting a ton of heat on the plugs.
They can do that. What I guess you said you're E85. Well, what is that fuel are you using? Is it can E85, pump E85?
It's the VP E85L. They're 85L, so it's got a touch of lead in it to help with detonation, which may be why I haven't killed it yet.
So all the E85 we tested, man, the only E85 that we felt comfortable with going like big horsepower over 2,000 horse with is actually one ethanol R. It's 117 octane. Matter of fact, the reason I like it is the best smelling 85 I've ever smelled. It actually smells. I don't know if you guys remember what Torco used to smell like back in the day.
Yep.
Sweet. Oh, dude, it smells like that. I hate the way 85 smells. And this stuff, I'll stand at the exhaust pipe just to smell it. It is 117 octane. You already know that you got a lot. You're getting rid of some of the detonation properties you'd have with regular 85. But on top of that, we've noticed that you can run like a way richer target, which helps with intake air temps and cylinder temps. We've seen guys, I think, get as low as like running it in a 10 on a couple of pounds of boost. When I say couple, 20, 30 pounds boost, they're running down all the way into the bottom 10 on AFR, which is helping with cylinder temp. But I would be lying if I didn't say if I was in your shoes, I would have some kind of intercooler no matter what. I would never run 85 to a capacity past about 15, 20 pounds without some kind of intercooler. I know nitrous says you're using nitrous intercooler, but how much air temp can it suck out of it?
It can actually,
in the time that
it can actually do a lot. I'm out in left field, and I'm glad you brought up air fuel because I'm commanding a 12-1.
You're what?
I'm commanding a 12-1 air fuel right now.
That is crazy.
What should I be commanding?
Sounds lean.
That's real. That might be why your plugs are coming out pissed off. What do you think your car makes for horsepower?
Well, it got lead in it.
On the hub dyno, it made 1,400.
See, I would tell you that, and everybody has their own. You have your own tuner. On E, and how much boost you running?
30.
Yeah. See, I would be targeting 11 O's. With your combo.
And Mike and I talked about that. Mike and I talked about that this last Sunday. I'm like, man, why don't we give it more fuel and see how it responds? Because the plug is very aggressive. A 12-1 commanded 12.5 area is normally a nitrous tune-up. So you got a couple of nitrous guys with a Pro Charger and nitrous and E85, and we're out in left field on the tune-up right now. That's
so. The rule of thumb that I use in the tuning, with any fuel, with anything, is I'll run it as fast as I can run it until it starts putting the light out, and then start backing it off and see where the plug looks happy, right?
Right.
So I always start where we make a pass, like we don't literally do a pass with alcohol. We're 85, and I'll pull the plug out. It looks like it ain't ran at 30 pounds of boost because I got so much fuel in it that it's keeping it where you don't got any heat.
Right.
So I'll slowly back off that until we start to get about a half cad burn around the plug. And then I start working on timing, and sometimes I'll put fuel back in it as I'm putting timing back in it. Personally, I would at 30 pounds of boost, no intercooler, E85. I would, like I said, 11.0. Be scared to start at 10.7, 10.8, and see what the car does. Because if it's not put it out, why not?
Yeah, because
you know better than anybody. If you can get the fuel in there, it'll cool the cylinder that temp down with more fuel.
And it's
you get more cylinder fill. More cylinder fill actually helps with horsepower, anyways. Yeah, I think that's crazy. I can't believe you haven't heard of something that you haven't.
No, we've been, and it's probably because I don't know if you've seen the video of my car making a pass. It looks like it's got 5-foot nitrous flames coming out of it, and that's why we got so much timing yanked out of this. Whenever I say we're in left field, we're battling some small issues, and so we're getting ready to go back. We're changing the stator and the transmission right now. we're getting ready to go back to tune this weekend, and we're just going to start short tracking again. And we gotta tighten this up. And honestly, I have a lot of really good tuning friends, and they've all offered to help. And so we take little bits and pieces. We want to be in full control of our program, but also we don't want to be an asshole, and and we don't want any of our tuning friends getting upset because we had one of them help us and not the other. So it's like it's a very fine line, because they're like, hey, let me look at your log. Well, if you had somebody else help you and they have their little bit of tuning aspect in there, you can't do that. So Mike and I are trying to learn this in a way with taking all this knowledge and adapting it without taking advantage of someone, if that makes sense.
695, 696, 697. I see a pattern.
Well, you just said you've been offered this, but at any given time, man, you got my cell phone number. You're probably running Holly.
Yep,
but I prefer Fuel Tech over Holly, no offense. But if you ever need any help, man, I can jump right in and help you guys. Like, you send me pictures of plugs, and I'm not saying they're best, but I tell you this, what I am lucky with is I do know the best, and I've learned from the best, and I'm still learning. I'm still a student, don't get me wrong.
Yep.
But I because I have a dyno and I tune cars daily, plethora of cars, I've got to see a little bit of everything, and I'm not scared to ask. It's like, I'll call John Capizzi, I'll call Tyler Hastings. Like, these guys, like Tyler Hastings got the Gen 1 Coyote record in the world. Obviously, John Capizzi, LSs. When it comes to LSs, there's probably not somebody who's done more with less than him ever. He's been 411 now with a stop block. I mean, tuning is everything, and so I got to come underneath their wings and listen to what they had to say, absorb everything. I'm around Steve Morris all the time, Devin Vanderhoof. Like, some of these guys are the guys I look up to as far as tuning. But every combo is different and every air is different. But but a plug never lies. That's what I always tell everybody. It's the one thing I got caught up in mine. I kept reading the plug and throwing fuel at it, and I was overfueled down track. But damn it, I was messing it all up on three step. Now, when I had Dave go on the chip after I read that, put everything how I used to have it. Dave goes on the chip, and the crazy part, pull the plug out, you couldn't tell the car started. I said, okay, now I got something to read. Dave goes down the track, runs the 697, pull the plug out, and we didn't even have track burn to a point you could tell it ran, other than the very tip of the plug. You could see a little heat in it. I'm like, we can run that all week. I mean, that'll go quarter mile. But yeah, that's what I think. You're just like you said, nitrous is one thing. When you add boost with nitrous, and we have guys that come do that, it's a different aspect. You gotta give it what it wants for the boost, and then nitrous is just a plus.
Right.
And you're going to probably end up if you target like 10, like I said, I would start at 10.7, 10.8 and make a hit. If you got a dyno or at the track, do a 330 hit or something. And if it stays clean and doesn't break up at all, gap your plugs somewhere around 14, 15 on you got smart coils, I bet, right? Yeah. Gap them plugs 14, 15 thousandths, run it at like 10.8 and make a 330 hit. And I bet you that she wakes right up and it looks a whole lot different than it does now.
Yeah.
And run it as rich as you can. There's no reason. I know the NA guys that are trying to make some big power NA, some of the nitrous guys, they'll start leaning them out, making power. But on a lot of the boosted stuff, dude, you got a window of 1 to 1.5 inch whole ratios where it doesn't change the power. So if you stay at the bottom of that, you're just in a wider window for safety. You're looking at an average. And you know that. Your O2 is showing you an average of the cylinders. So you might have one cylinder that when you're running 12.1, 12.5, you might have one cylinder that's 14 and one that's 11. So with that being said,
I have individual O2s, and I do. I have an intake that's new to me, and I'm still trying to figure it out. And it's the Performance Design. They built a nice carbon fiber LT and LS style intake, but I have some individual cylinder differences that I haven't quite figured out yet.
No, I'm not going to answer that. It'll swing over to our other store, and our guy over there will grab it.
So hey, let's talk about real quick. I know you guys got to get back to work. Let's talk about what you guys do for a living.
Well, let Dave go first.
I can't even hear. I've got noise over here. We do for what?
What do you do for a living, Dave?
Make inappropriate decisions.
So we own Auto Dynamics Diehl Brothers Racing here in Kalamazoo, Michigan, and we got a little store over in Battle Creek as well. We started off as actually a stereo shop back in '96, right, Nick?
1996.
Yep. You started working at the stereo shop in what, 98?
98.
Yep. So been around a real long time. Actually, man, the kind of the background of this is I didn't really know Nick growing up. Our dad passed away around 2010-ish, and I tracked Nick down, and it was kind of funny because we're both into hot rods. We both had audio shops and stuff like that. I grew up down in Florida, hence why I'm okay with being in my race suit, and it doesn't really bother me much because I grew up hanging iron in Florida and doing construction and stuff. So, we got into doing the hot rod stuff, building race cars, and now it's just ventured into what we got now. We got a big shop over in Kalamazoo. We build chassis, do fabrication, tuning. I build all the engines here. We do sub out all of our machine work currently. One of my goals coming up in the near future is to start having all of our own machining equipment where we can do all our cool stuff here. Right now, we got a mix of like Steve Morse engines and Irwin Racing engines that does our machine work depending on what we need done.
Right.
Is it, something, if it's something that Irwin can't do, we take it up to Steve essentially. That both do excellent work. They both pretty much got the same exact equipment, just one just doesn't have the capabilities of the other.
Right.
So, engines, chassis, hot rods, stuff like that, man. That's, we essentially live the dream that everybody wants, building that stuff. Everybody wants to do it, and that's what we do.
Okay. So y'all are running two different facilities. One of y'all are at one and one of y'all are at the other.
That is correct.
Okay.
I've been trying to change that, but Nick doesn't agree with me. So,
well, that's kind of cool that y'all grew up separate
and got together
and still had the same interest. You know what I mean? Like,
And
absolutely.
Yeah. It was.
How did you find each other?
That is defined in the blood.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, I knew I had a brother and stuff like that. We had the same dad, different mom. I knew I had a brother, and I had seen him. He remembered me. I was really young when he had seen me around. I didn't really remember him. I just knew he existed. So, actually, when our dad passed away, I can't say him and our dad was close. I was really close with our dad. So, I actually had a friend that was a Fed, and I hit him up like, hey, man, I got a brother, man. His name's Nick Diehl. Last I knew, he lived in Battle Creek, Michigan. And he hit me back a couple minutes later with a couple phone numbers and an address. So
that's cool. And then who would have known y'all would end up being so close, right? Y'all obviously spend a lot of time
literally
together.
We meet each other, we start hanging out and have everything in the world in common. We both, rode motorcycles, rode on motorcycle stunt teams. He had a motorcycle shop, like I had a little, when I was back in high school, I had a little car audio gig at like the, what you call it? Man, I can't think of what it's called.
Radio Shack.
Yeah, I worked at Radio Shack on my weekday job. I worked at Radio Shack like in high school. And then, man, the little places where you go where they got like all the stuff. I can't think. Anyways, I had a little stereo shop and stuff like that.
Circuit City?
Fries.
Yeah, well, I had a little stereo shop, man. I did on the weekends and stuff like that. I'd do installs and stuff for people, sell equipment, stuff like that. It was like kind of my little side thing on the weekends, Then I got out of high school and I went into construction, of course, and then did that for most of my life. Until I wound up moving up here and we partnered up and have what we have now.
Well, that's awesome.
At Radio Shack, you can put all kinds of stuff together and build small practical devices.
Yo,
you should why I do a little summary here. You should maybe walk through up to the front of the shop and kind of show a little bit of that up in the front there.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Show us.
Yeah. All the flow supply and all the stuff that's on the wall up there. Just a little bit of what the front like. The trophy case. Anyways. If you go 8 years of busting butt and not winning nothing, the last couple of years we've been doing pretty good. You kind of terrace those a little better.
Yes.
So, I bet that's something to be proud of. That's a lot of work, a lot of strategy.
Yeah, no. Like Dave said, I have the Battle Creek shop here. I run all day by myself. We do breathalyzers for the state and government, so it's hard to give up that guaranteed money. The performance stuff, comes and goes. We do got some announcements going to be coming out the next week or two. We're teaming up with another company and we're going to be doing a lot more, kind of like a satellite shop for them, doing a lot more of the bigger, higher dollar builds as far as race car stuff. That's kind of exciting. You guys probably seen, we're trying to do a YouTube thing.
Yep.
It's tough. We're working on subscribers. If you guys want to throw a tag in here for the Diehl Brothers Racing YouTube, we'd love that.
Tell everybody how to find it.
Diehl Brothers Racing, pretty much on Instagram, Facebook, especially YouTube. Like, subscribe, share. You know, it's hard to get off the ground. I feel like once you do get off the ground, as long as you got good content, we try to keep it fun and we keep it real. We don't no crazy editing. We show the bad, we show the good. I've not got into doing the how-to stuff yet. Like, I want to do some stuff on tuning. The problem is, I feel like some of the stuff I do different than everybody. I don't know how many of those secrets I want to give up. And so we're trying to find that window medium. Where, yes. Well, I want to show some stuff because I got ways of doing stuff that might help some guys out with track tuning and getting down surfaces that are tricky. One thing that I'll tell you is that once you do a couple of drag and drives, which I strongly suggest you guys get out and do someday. Matter of fact, I wouldn't be opposed to you guys jumping in one of our, like, 850 car and coming in one of these drag and drives, drive our car. If you don't got something to do it, we got a spare. We call it the rental.
Yeah.
You could put somebody who's never drag raced in it. They can let off the button and run a 850 without trying. Like, you just
cool.
let off the button.
You know,
So I just offered Billy from Fuel Tech the same thing. He said he might want to get down. You've probably seen Lewis jumped into Motion Raceworks car.
Yep.
He said he had a time of his life, dude. He was smiling and having the greatest time. I would love to get you guys out here sometime to join us in one. And I know you got cars, Dave, so you might have something you feel that you could bring. Don't come with the goal to go the fastest and be like this, that, or whatever. Go with the goal of finishing the week and learning about it.
Right.
And make the adventure fun. One thing I tell you that we did over the years is we've got competitive, and as much as I want to win everything and be competitive, it did suck the fun out of some of it. And I don't want to see other guys do that. So all my friends that I have do it now, tell them going to classes where you can just have fun. I mean, at some point, if you want to be competitive, do it, but don't start off that way because you're going to get your feelings hurt. It's not an easy game.
You know, I'm going to have to do this. Hey, run your YouTube pages and everything back by just like you did a while ago. Where to find you at?
You're going to find us on YouTube at Diehl Brothers Racing, Diehl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's separate that up because you both stepped on each other.
Go ahead, Nick.
Anyways, you can find us on YouTube at Diehl Brothers Racing, Diehl Brothers, as it sounds, Racing. Also can find us Nick or David Diehl at Diehl Brothers Racing on Facebook, and we have a dedicated Diehl Brothers Racing Facebook page, and along with Instagram, we have a Diehl Brothers Racing.
And what are you supposed to do whenever you get done looking all that up?
You're supposed to like, share, subscribe, support your other racers because we're going to support you guys. And we also want to give a quick shout out. I am not this guy that usually does. To you guys over at Nitrous Outlet, John for helping us out with everything. All the guys over at Fuel Tech, Motion Raceworks, Bill Devine at Bullseye Turbo, Detroit Battery Company. I mean, I could go on for days. We've been blessed. Maximum Oil, got to forget. Them guys come to us. We've never asked for something from anybody. We were one of those, we're stubborn. Matter of fact, I just got messaged that I need to start hitting the ground running and trying to get sponsors and this and that, you know. And it sounds great, but it's hard to ask for anything because I'm just not that guy.
Right.
At the same time, if somebody comes to me, I'm not going to tell them no if it's a product I'm going to use. I won't use stuff that you can't give me something I won't use.
Right.
I'm not going to take it. I've had several companies hit me up and say, hey, I got this for you. And as much as you appreciate that, it kind of makes you get in the feels a little bit, right? I'm only going to accept the things that I'll actually use that I trust and I would sell to somebody.
Right.
Just like the Flow Race Supply, dude. We fell in love with that stuff. This mesh stuff that we've been working, with you on. I've sold 2 or 3 different set up with guys now that they're trying to do what we're doing. It's not for everybody though. Like you get certain cars where you don't have enough intake to where I feel comfortable. But yeah, like I said, thank all you guys over there, man. Appreciate the time you gave us today.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you're going to like and share and follow everything, make sure you tell your mom and them.
Yeah. So David, give us a walk real quick. I know you guys got to jump off here.
Let me flip the camera around real quick. Let me figure out how to do this. Boom. So I don't know if that worked or not.
No, you're still your ugly mug.
I don't know how to flip it.
Just turn the camera around.
I was about to say turn the phone around, Dave. It's not rocket science.
Yeah, like a selfie.
Yeah. Well, so this is a showroom area, man. We got, we do stereo stuff, so we got some stereo stuff floating around in here, boxes, speakers, subs, all that kind of stuff. We got a lot of fittings, a lot of things we keep on the wall, some more stereo stuff. We carry race fuel, stuff like that here. You know, we're a Pro Charger dealer. I don't know if you see our
to get that flow supply.
Nitrous Outlet, methods, all that up here, man. You know,
That's a nice showroom. It's nice.
Yeah.
It's clean. It's organized.
yeah, actually, man, this is our first go at things, man. We did these floors and everything in this place, so
It's clean and shiny and nice.
yeah, it's nice. We got a Pro Charger kit here that come in for a customer for an engine I'm building right now, a car we're building. You know, so that's gonna be cool. There's all.
There's your guitar.
Get us in there. Let us look at those trophies.
Yeah, so there's our helmet and stuff from our last race there. We got a street race wild winner last year at Streetcar Takeover, right before 6th summer. We got a few small tire, trophies and stuff in here. Our second place Super Street from last year. Our winner from Super Street this year. Up here, the old guitar for.
Oh, that's badass.
overall.
Yeah.
Those are nice trophies. It's nice and colorful too. So I like the way you got that displayed.
I like that guitar.
Yeah, so I got plans for all this. So then we got we took first in the 28 class, 28 275 at Drop the Hammer. We placed first in that. We do carry all ECR products and stuff like that down in here, head studs, oil pumps, all that, mainly LS and Gen 3 Hemi. Getting a little low on flow supply fittings. I got to get restocked there. I got a lot of blank spots on my wall now. So you'll be hearing from me real soon to get restocked up on that. I was looking for some fittings yesterday. I'm like, man, I can't believe them out. But I also haven't took the time to
I got something you're going to like, especially being an alcohol guy. We right now have getting made the big, like super flexible. It's a double corrugated style hose. I mean, pretty much tie that thing in a
We've been waiting on that for a while now.
That has been a job.
That's been a chase.
That's 8 months of work. So and that's the only missing link we have right now. So I'm like, come on.
Yeah, right now I mean realistically, you want that stuff, you got to get Brown and Miller, and it's like, holy cow, break out your wallet.
Yeah, it is expensive. I mean, honestly, it's a big investment for us, but I do believe that that's the missing link for us for the Flow Supply product line. Because
I agree.
So I'm like, come on, let's go.
Yeah, cruising around here, we got last year we won Spirit of Drag Week, very, very, very prestigious awards. Probably one of the nicest, most prestigious awards you could probably get. Man. That was a crazy deal. Like day zero testing, our couple buddies that were with us, one blew his engine up, the other one grenaded his rear end. Man, I was out there pressing bearings onto carriers and stuff with a Blackstone little grill top, heating up bearings to press them on. And we were using the jack of the trailer as the press. So like we had a hook to the Duramax. I was heating the bearings up and pressing the bearings on with the screw jack of the trailer.
Now that's the type of stuff you need to be catching for your YouTube channel.
Yeah,
that's the kind of stuff that you do at Drag and Drives right there.
Yes.
Make it through. My one buddy thought he was out. I wasn't taking that for an answer. I found a $400 marketplace find engine. We went and got the engine that night. The next morning, had the engine out of his truck, had him an engine in that truck and running. There's a lot of great shops that jumped in, provided us with camshafts. Nick, can you remember what the
John Moore, Moore's race cars?
Yep. So they jumped in, provided us with camshafts, heads. I mean, the community came together and helped us get an engine back in that car. And he finished Drag Week. He just went out to 6th summer. He didn't, he did Drop the Hammer. He's just been rocking that little engine we put together in that parking lot since.
That's cool.
Do they have a class at Battle of the Thrones for them guys? Because that's what they're missing is a throne.
Yeah, they need a throne. That would.
Yeah, you need one of them thrones.
Yeah, y'all got a hell of a trophy.
Yeah, we got a bunch more up here for other.
I tell you what, that picture up there on the left, though. The picture of the car on the left that guy Scott took of us, that picture of that car is probably the single most favorite picture of our car ever been took.
Show it to me.
Yeah, that's
terrible.
Yeah, I got a lot of Super Street stuff over here. We got some more stuff over on this side over here.
He's not going to show us.
Some other things that we've won. Drag and Drive Invitationals. We took second place there. So we got that. And then back in the office, got some real cool stuff too, man, that are Well, let's just continue a little quick walk though. We got a lot of cars, a lot of things going on in here, man.
Hey, David, hold on. Before you walk out of there, show us the picture that Nick was talking about as y'all's favorite.
No, I kind of did, I thought, but you might, didn't zoom.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that is a good picture. Yeah.
That's a catalog picture right there for you.
There you go. That looks good. You're right.
I've got one that's my favorite. It's my dad and I with my Monza, and I'm doing a burnout, and he's out in front of me, and he's turning me loose with his thumb up. Looks like he's trying to hitch a ride. And one of my buddies made a painting of it, and I've got the painting in the house and the pictures here at the office.
That's awesome.
Yeah, you always fall in love with one or two pictures that. I mean, you see the car every day, but there's something special about that picture.
Is that a Chevelle back there?
Absolutely.
Was that an orange Chevelle?
This is a car we've been working on the last few days. It's a LS Swap 370Z. We actually just fired it up last night.
Hey, man, you know, you didn't show the turbos. That's the best part of that car is the freaking get back a little bit so you can see. There we go. Now you see something.
That's cool.
It's hard because I can't see what's going on. This is a 69 Cutlass we're putting together. Just a nice little clean LS build on it. Nothing crazy. And we got I don't know. Nick likes to torture himself. I don't know what his deal is with carburetors, an obsession that he loves them so much.
Hey. Man, that's twice today I've been hit with carburetor heat.
Old carburetor here.
Oh, fuel leaker.
Hey, man.
A controlled fuel leak is all it is.
Yeah.
Man, you know, I noticed as you're walking through your shop there, the shop is clean too. So I have a thing with believing that the quality of your work is a direct reflection of the quality of the environment you're working in. So that's the first thing I look at whenever you're showing me everything. Like when people show me, I'm looking at the background to see how clean it is.
If it's got stuff piled up, like you wouldn't go to my dad's.
Oh, there's a bunch of stuff piled up here and there for sure. We got a lot of projects going on.
There's a difference between being worked out of and being filthy. Y'all got a nice shop. It's nice and clean.
Yeah, once upon a time you could eat off my dad's floor in his shop.
Yeah.
Not now. You get tetanus or something. I mean, he's gotten up to 75 and he's just kind of there's the hot rod.
There she be. Look at the stance on that thing. What is it? Like 2 inches off the ground? 3?
Pretty low.
About 4.
Yeah. Man, that looks good.
You're running 17s on the front?
Yep. You know, I'm not a Mustang guy.
Neither am I.
But that car looks
we got
good.
plenty of them around here. We got obviously our blue car here.
The rental.
The rental. Our rental that we let everybody drive.
Yep.
We got a customer's car right here right now that we're doing a 25-2 cert chassis in. This is actually a stick shift car. He's been 7s, right, Nick?
Yep, he's been 7s. He's trying to get back to the bottom 7s now.
Nice.
Yeah, and a stick shift car. Actually still Ford powered. We got this deal here, man. Little bracket truck we're building. We actually just built these headers. All this stuff on this. We're putting this together right now.
Man, y'all do a wide range of different types of work.
You're pretty much saying we're dumb without saying we're dumb, because we've learned that's our downfall. Is that we do too much. But
we have the same problem here. Honestly, we have a mix of doing some stuff that is what makes us the best at what we do, but it also makes us make less money.
Chris Mary's here. You know, this is Todd. I've been holding this hoist down for a while now because he's a friend of ours. You know, it was we were helping him build the car, but kind of cool, man. It's a G8. We've done all the custom 4-link suspension in this thing. I don't know if we can see under here or not. But we built all the custom boxes and did all the custom 4-link for this. Upper boxes up there. Pretty neat deal.
But my favorite part, honestly, is the custom K member. Yeah, like they didn't really make one for it.
The custom stuff up here. This is actually Mustang struts, Mustang control arms. This is all Mustang parts that we built the whole front suspension out of.
Nice. Yeah, that looks good.
It's a 4-door G8, by the way. Dave doesn't realize we can't see the whole car, so it's hard to tell.
Well, when we said G8, I knew it. And you don't see many G8s anymore.
That's because they don't make them, boss.
Well, I know, but you just don't see them out.
They were popular over in Australia.
Yeah.
Yep. It's like the Holden and all that.
Yep.
I got a lot of the accounts that are in Australia, and them guys they're nuts down there.
And that's here's the cool part. Every one of those cars he showed you so far is full of flow supply for all the lines. Now we use we crimp everything. As a matter of fact, a lot of the guys are coming back that we did stuff in the previously now switching over to the crimp line. It's smaller, it's lighter, it fits into places better. We haven't had any of them leak. It's just been a game changer for us. Getting that crimp machine was freaking amazing. I hate making lines until now. Now I can go over there and I can literally plumb a whole car in a couple hours
with the perfect fit.
Yeah,
with a perfect fit.
Yeah.
And make sure on your YouTube video that you're gonna have out there, show it. Show you making one.
We do.
Yeah.
I did a video for you guys. So it's been a while. Maybe I'll reshare it. But I literally showed the comparison. I pulled off about 15 lines on our car and converted them over to the crimped.
Yeah.
And like I said, my favorite part is how much smaller and compact the line, how much less space it takes up. Just like when we redid the car this year, we went to Tesla wire instead of standard automotive wire.
Yeah.
How much smaller the harnesses are, how much less space it takes. And in the race car, it's not. I mean, the weight's nice, but room comes as you guys know when you're building a car. Anytime you can get a little bit more room somewhere, a little more clearance.
Yep.
Way better to work on. So we appreciate you guys for that, man. That stuff has been a game changer. I don't know. I think it was Dave. I think you're the one who taught me into the crimper. I mean, it was a little bit of investment up front, but now I wouldn't turn out. Now I don't even want to build a regular line the rest of my life. So it kind of sucks in that way.
You probably got your investment back already.
Probably. I'm spoiled for that same thing too. All of my stuff, I bring it up here to the shop and build.
Absolutely.
And it's a hydraulic one. It's not one that you guys sit there and crank it with a jack and a rod or nothing. You just push your little button and away you go.
Yep. So, well, anything you guys want to cover before we jump off here?
Oh, unfortunately I've got to start helping some customers.
No problem.
You going home?
Yeah.
All right.
I got a couple vehicles sitting over here. I need to get jumping on too.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate you guys jumping on here one more time. Where can people find y'all at?
Diehl Brothers Racing on YouTube, Diehl Brothers Racing on Facebook, Diehl Brothers Racing on Instagram, Nick Diehl or David Diehl on Facebook or Instagram, I believe too. Yeah. Make sure you guys like, share, subscribe. We got like 41 or 42 videos out now, man. We're really trying to get that 1,000 subscriber mark. We're like 300 or 400 short. Be awesome to see if we pick up a couple. I'm not sure when. Do you know when this is going to air?
Next Friday.
No, it'll be the Friday after next, I think.
Yeah, not this one, not tomorrow.
Yeah,
next week.
The following Friday.
Next Friday at 6.
If you
6
guys
Central.
want to send me over a short on this, I'll post it on all our stuff too to help promote it. And I said we appreciate your time today.
Perfect. We'll get Aaron lined out to do that.
I'm proud of you guys for kicking ass at the sixth summer.
Yeah, congratulations.
That's cool.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate your support, the products you give, that you provided to us, to make it all happen. I mean, couldn't have done it without you.
Well, it goes both ways, and you guys are a great representation of our company, and we appreciate everything you do with us.
Yeah, without people like you, I don't have a job.
me neither.
Without people like you, we can't go fast. So we all need each other.
All right, man. Thank you, guys. You guys get back to work.
You guys be good.
All right, man. Have a good day. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Have a good one.
All right.
Well, there you have it.
Yeah, episode 21's in the books.
Nick and David Diehl. And they're a big deal.
Yeah, a very big deal.
Yeah, they're a big deal.
Yeah. Won the sixth summer. Well, they got, third?
And that
they
case
set all
was
them
impressive.
records.
I couldn't name all the wins.
That guitar was beautiful.
Yeah. And what was even cooler is their story.
Yeah. Yeah. That they had the same dad, but different moms. And they lived in different parts of the country. And then
didn't know each other. After
Pops passed away, they kind of got back together again. And now they're building an empire in Kalamazoo, Michigan.
Oh, did you say Pops passed away?
Yeah.
I missed that part.
Yeah. Yeah. His Pops had died. And then that's how they ended up. I think it was David's one that tracked down Nick.
Yeah. And it turns out that they have the same interest.
Yeah.
Motorcycles, cars, stereos. That's
racing.
wild. That is a perfect example of it's in the blood.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're born that way.
Yeah. That is an end of another great episode
Yes.
of WAZZUP.
What's up? Make sure you tune in to us on Fridays at 6:00 when it's released on YouTube.
Yep. And then you can find us on our social media pages, Nitrous Outlet at Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. There's
YouTube.
another one. No. Yeah, YouTube. What?
Twitter.
X. X.
Oh, it's not
The
Twitter
old
no more,
Twitter.
is it? It's just
It's
X.
X.
I'm an old man. Sorry.
Are we on Truth Social yet? No. Wow.
We're probably not allowed on there.
No, we got to support Trump, right? Yeah. So
Yeah, we just lost 3 viewers.
that's okay. That's okay. So
Don't forget, you can hit us up at nitrousoutlet.com, 254-848-4300, and we can get you knocked out on some goodies coming up. And the end of this month, Monday, is the last day for the free shipping on ground,
yeah.
and 10% off site-wide for retail customers.
For all of our products, meth
Yep.
heads, 860,
Yep.
Flow Supply, and Nitrous Outlet.
Yeah, anything you need, holler at us.
Yeah, there you go. So we'll catch you next time.
Peace out, guys.